Welcome back to another video on Howson IRL. Today I'm going to be talking through hiking. Hiking is one of my favourite activities to do. It's good for the mind, it's good for the body, and it's good for the soul. And today I'm going to be taking you through my top 5 favourite hikes. The hikes that I like to do on the most regular basis. All of these hikes are in the Peak District or the Peak District National Park. They are absolutely beautiful to see. They have got so much variation in what you're going to see and do. Some are flat, some are tall. There's lots to do. There's all different options for different levels of ability, different levels of accessibility, some that you can take your kids, some that you definitely don't want to take your kids on. If you like this video, make sure to subscribe and give it a like as well, because we're going to be making a lot more hiking videos just like this one, but maybe with a slightly different angle. Let's get into the first one. First up, we have Lodge Church. Now, this is a nice 6-mile, 10-kilometre walk that is perfect to take your kids on. If you start at the Gradbach car park, which is SK170 SU, parking here is free. There is a cafe at the end of the route. Near the beginning of the hike, you are going to have to cross over a river with minimal stepping stones, so make sure you bring the right footwear. This is one of those magical places. It's surrounded by myths and legends. Supposedly this is the inspiration for the very famous Green Man. The route is harder to navigate than other hikes, but there are signposts, but they are old, some are broken, and some have been lost. So I will link our website in the description so you can check out where to go with some directions on there. Now, Lodge Church Chasm is filled with lots of green flora, and the natural light that comes in from above make it one of the most photographed places in the Peak District. It was believed to be a secret place of Christian worship in the 1400s. It's been associated with Robin Hood and his merry men. It's also said to be the home for a clan of fairies, which is obviously what I tell my little one when we come and visit. The trail is quite muddy, especially right in the centre of the chasm, but there are boardwalks over some areas of it. You're going to get muddy, but you are going to have a great time with this one. There's some brilliant opportunities for photos. There's some hanging stones along the edge of the ridge, and you might meet a lot of fluffy friends as you do pass through quite a lot of farmland. Next up, we have the B29 Crash Site. This hike is one of the most challenging walks that I do on a regular basis. It takes us from a place called Moorfield in Glossop to the bleak low B29 Overexposed Crash Site. I start in Moorfield because I like to include a bit of a larger part of the Transpennine Way and make it a bit of a workout as well. There is a lay-by right next to Moorfield Garden Retreat where you can park up. There is no visitor centre, there are no toilets, it's just the great outdoors. This is about 11 miles or 18 kilometres, but you can pick up the trail from many areas around Glossop. You start with a very, very long incline and then you reach the moorland. Right then, so as you're coming up this road here, you hit the first sort of navigation point that you're going to need to know about. If you imagine yourself walking along the road and in front of you is the 12 o'clock position, as you come to this area here where the road sort of goes 3 ways in front of you, you want to kind of follow it continuing on the 12 o'clock. In fact, there's a lady that's just gone ahead of us now. You can see basically the route she's following from here. You're hitting that. You're going to crest the top of the hill. There's a little bit of like a crevice or a stream, but it's not always water in it because it's at the very top here. Once it dries out, it's a bit of a crevice. Hit that, keep going. You will see the big rock sort of slabs of the Pennine Way going right to left to right in front of you after you crest the top of that hill. If you look, we're kind of in a weird sort of spot of land. You can no longer see the road behind you. There are no markers in front of you. This is where you have to stay true to the bearing that you was on and don't deviate, or you can just end up going around in circles here because there is nothing to identify which way you're going. This is the Pennine Way. I don't know who paved it, and it can't have just been one guy because it's miles of these flagstones. What's that over your shoulder, Steve? That is Kinder Scout. That is the highest peak in the Peak District, but we'll save that for you for another day because the peak bit is literally just right there. We're not going there, we are going to that one over there. The Transpennine Way can be quite hard and uneven underfoot, so I recommend walking boots with decent ankle support because there's a lot of twists and turns and small footbridges which can become muddy in later months. Once you cross the road, you climb over the moorland and up to the crash site, following a stream all the way to the top. The B29 Overexposed Crash Site is a somber location that marks where a US Air Force Boeing B-29 Super Fortress met a tragic end in 1948 on Bleaklow Moor.
On a routine photo reconnaissance mission, the aircraft collided with the top of the peak in low cloud, claiming the lives of all 13 crew members. Today, the scattered remains of the aircraft serve as a poignant memorial to those who have lost their lives and a stark reminder of the dangers faced by military aviators. The wreck is scattered over quite a few areas, so make sure to have a bit of an explore around so you can see all of it. And the area can be extremely windy, but in the summer months it's a great area to stop for a picnic. The descent back down from the trig point towards the river is steep and does have some hidden footholds that can be a bit of an ankle snapper, so please be careful. You do have to cross a river and follow a trail along the edge of a cliff before turning back up the road. Once you get back to the Transpennine Way, it is a long walk back over the same route that we started on. Next up we have the Longdendale Trail. It starts at 4 Platt Street, Padfield in Glossop. Parking is free. There are around about 20 spaces here. The route is about 13-14 miles or 21-22 kilometres, and it is very flat due to it being an old railway. If 40 miles is too long for you, then you can start at numerous points along, including the trail at Torside Car Park. I love this trail when I'm training for any sort of distance, especially if I'm carrying weight on my back.
Because it's an old railway, it's very, very level, very flat, which means it's very accessible. We've brought Blake here in a pram. I've done it on my bike. It's also accessible for people who want to come and get outdoors in a wheelchair, which I imagine is probably a really difficult thing to do. You can do that here. And also, I like to bring my dog. And in the summer, he very often likes to cool off, and there's about 3 of these ponds on the way, and you'll quite often find him jumping inside one of them.
During my 457 kilometre walk, remembering the 457 soldiers that died in Afghanistan, this was a trail that I did all the time because it's a very set distance and it's a very, very flat and easy one to do. At the end of the trail, you'll find the Woodhead tunnels.
Right then, I have reached the end of the Longdendale Trail, but the end of the Longdendale Trail is the start of what at one point was one of the longest tunnels in the world, and it goes right through the centre of these mountains. And you used to be able to catch a train all the way through Sheffield, coming right through here, all the way through into Manchester, and that's essentially what the Longdendale Trail is. It's the former railway route right here, right the way through to the start.
And this is Chee Dale, another old railway track, the Chee Dale stepping stones on the Monsell Trail. This route starts at the Millersdale Car Park, Monsell Trail, Buxton, SK17 8TD. There's a great little cafe there, if not a little bit pricey, but there's toilets, picnic benches, and even car charging bays if you've got an electric vehicle. The route is around about 7 kilometres, so it's shorter than a lot of the other walks that are on this list, but there is plenty to see. There are quick lime kilns. There's a large structure that you can walk into and explore. There is an abseiling bridge, and then you descend into the Chee Dale Gorge, which is a very, very picturesque route as you follow the River Wye. Depending on the weather, the terrain can be extremely muddy.
I reckon this path would have been absolutely horrendous if it wasn't frozen.
When we were filming, we went when it was iced over, so it was nice and hard, but you will need walking boots or even wellies for this one. As you reach the stepping stones, this will be every child's favourite part. My daughter loves these stones.
They do feel a little bit like fairy tale almost. Look at them. They're so cool. Kids love them, and I can't believe how clear the water is to the sides of them. What an awesome, awesome little spot is this.
As you make your way back up to the road, you're going to see 2 railway tunnels. Take the one to the right, and that'll take you all the way back to the abseiling bridge. This is a great walk. It's got some mixed terrain. It can be pretty soggy, but there's some sensational pictures to be had around here. And then my favourite one. This is Mam Tor. You start at the Visitor Centre Car Park, Buxton Road in Castleton, which is S33 8WN. 4 hours is about £4, but if you think you need any more, it's only £6 for 10 hours. The hike starts in Castleton at the car park, which is a lovely little town, and it's got a circular route. In fact, it's got loads of circular routes around the perimeter. My favourite one is the contrast that you're going to get with the limestone rocks in Cavedale Valley compared to the mega popular climb up the Mother Hill. There are toilets at the visitor centre, there are coffee shops, there are hiking supply stores right on the route, so any last minute supplies that you need, don't worry, we've got them here. And the Cavedale Mam Tor Circular is around about 6 miles or about 10k, so it's a good little challenge with some difficult terrain thrown in the mix as well.
So this, as you can see, is Mam Tor. This is the last leg before we hit the final summit. The route that I normally do is about 6 miles. You can't quite see where we come from because it's so misty down there now. The weather's all started to close in. The normal route is 6 miles. It's just over 500 meters to the top of Mam Tor summit right there. But if you're interested in doing a little bit more, there's an 8-mile loop, which is better views, more views, for not much more climbing.
So some real nice elevations. It's very mixed terrain. You're going to go through rock, you're going to go through water, there's going to be some real steep parts, there's going to be lots of flat parts. You have the added bonus here of amazing views at sunset and sunrise if you want to check them out. The Great Ridge, and there's even an extra 2-mile or 3k extension to go check out Loose Hill, which I do when I get the opportunity. If you're lucky, you might even catch a cloud inversion or a clear sunset from the top of the tour. Depending on the route you choose or your descent, you can visit one of the many great pubs to refuel.
And there we have it. That is my top 5 hikes. Please let me know in the comments which of these you think were the best, which ones you can't wait to go and do, which ones do you think should have been in here that we didn't talk about, and if you would like a little bit of extra content, a little bit behind the scenes, and you'd like to support the channel, then check out my Patreon below in the description, and I will see you in the next one. Laters.